Hello everyone and welcome to Good Journeys Tarot. I'm Rosemary and today I wanted to talk about this box I got in the mail. I said I was not going to purchase any new decks the rest of the year because I just shouldn't be buying any. But a few weeks ago, Kelly Bear did an update to her video, 5 Decks I Can't Live Without. And many of us responded with our own video responses to that, including Tracy at Temperance Tarot. So this is Tracy's fault. We love to blame others for our purchases, don't we? She actually showed 2 decks out of the 5 that she had. I had not, at that time, seen or added to my wish list that I really liked. And so I added them to my wish list. But this one deck stood out to me. And all day I was Googling images of it and checking out the website for the deck and looking at flip throughs on YouTube, and finally I decided I have to have this deck. I could not decide why I needed this deck until the following day, and it dawned on me. This deck looks a lot like some of my favorite animations, including Ruby and Wakfu. So this is the Ellis Tarot, or the Ellis Deck. Taylor actually was going on vacation the day I ordered, so he emailed me and said, okay, I can give you a refund or I can ship it when I get back. And I said, no, it's fine, ship it when you get back. So it came really quickly once he returned. It was sent out Monday. I got it today in 2 days, which is very quick. He has included some stickers of his artwork. Some of these are not, most of these are not from his deck, but are still the same style of art that he did with the deck. But he also included the High Priestess sticker, which I'm excited about. That means I get to create yet another journal surrounding a deck using this High Priestess. So the Ellis deck, which is available at Illustrations, ELLISTRATIONS.net, is in its 5th edition. And obviously people like the deck enough that it's been reprinted several times, but you don't see many people talking about it online. Some of the things that I really liked about the deck include the fact that he has a story that goes along with not only the major arcana, which is actually a unique version of the Fool's Journey following his cards, but also stories to go through the minor arcana. This is something that was attempted in Barbara Moore's deck, the Mystic Fairy Tarot. However, I don't think they quite accomplished it well. Some of the suits in that deck are difficult to read, and you can't tell one card from the other than the names on the cards. So it doesn't really remind you of the story that they told, and it's difficult to read as you would normally read a tarot deck, to me at least. This deck is easily read as a normal tarot deck, as well as easy to follow along his story with the various suits. And so I do love that about it. As I said, it's in its 5th edition. The 1st edition was a typical tarot cardstock with white borders. It actually had the same backing as is on this deck, which are the Cosmic Cats. And then there was a 2nd and 3rd edition, and I know one or both of those actually was plastic. But I haven't been able to find images of the 2nd or 3rd edition. The 4th edition actually has a back with 2 llamas overlapping with the Eye of Providence in the middle where they meet. And I believe it's also bordered. So this deck, the 5th edition, which has the Cosmic Cats on it, which obviously aren't reversible because one is white and one is black. Still beautiful back. Love it. I don't really read reversals with most of my decks at the moment anyway. It is gilded. This is kind of glittery gilding. It actually obviously has flaked a little bit because you can see it on the backs and fronts of some of the cards, which is fine. You know, this deck is not as thick as most gilded decks I have. It's a nice cardstock. It's smooth. It's not very thick. It's not really matte, but it's also not gloss. So it's a pretty standard cardstock for a tarot deck. So it'll be much easier to shuffle than some of my other gilded decks, which have a heavier cardstock. I'm not going to show you all of the images in the deck. I'm going to show you the two that sold me on the deck because I want to do a series of videos where we go through the stories behind these cards from his website. I think that'll be interesting to do. So the month of September, we'll be actually doing that. We'll go through the journey through the major arcana as well as the cups, the wands, the rods, and the coins. Or does he call them pentacles? Everybody is different. Let's see. I believe it's pentacles in this deck. So the two cards that actually sold me on the deck were the High Priestess, which we saw her earlier. And this is similar in some ways to the RWS card with the black and white towers, minus our B and our J. But in other ways, it's very unique and different. You can see a pomegranate curtain back here, and then the moon. It's a beautiful card, and I'm excited to have the sticker to create a journal for. The other one that sold me was this Empress. I love that this Empress just reminds me of the Earth. It's unusual to see a Empress depicted with like antlers. Like normally you see that associated with the Emperor, but really that is an earthy kind of symbol, and so I was really happy to see that. It's beautiful. The deck actually comes in ordered by number, so it shows it's the aces, the twos, the threes, and so forth, and goes up from there. You'll see, let's just look at the twos. The cups are mermaids, and this is one of the reasons I think I saw this deck previously and did not purchase it, was because I just I'm not really drawn to mermaids, but I love how he's portrayed them here. But they're mermaids in the cups, and there's a story about them. There are these little people that kind of look like tree people in the rods, and the character that goes through this series of rods actually has a spirit fox that goes with him, and I'll show you one of my favorite cards from the rods, and that's this one where he's actually riding the spirit fox. And then your pentacles have little bunny looking creatures throughout, as well as other furry animals on them. And then finally the twos feature crows or ravens throughout the cards. And the crows in particular, and these characters in the rods, as well as this little guy from the Pentacles, reminded me of some of my favorite anime and animation. So I had to get this deck. I want to spend some time with it, share the stories with you from the deck over the next month. I want to thank Tracy from Temperance Tarot for introducing me to the deck a few weeks ago. And if anyone has the second or third edition of the deck, and you know where I can see some photographs of it, or you can tell me a little bit about it, I'd love to know how it differs from the other editions of the deck. Until next time, good journeys.